Welcome back to Mixtapes and Mopeds with Red Wheels Panda. Of course, everybody knows this is the fastest growing podcast on the planet. And I hear it all the time. Big virtual hugs to all of our listeners out there. Hey, Panda, I was fortunate enough to be in New Orleans this last week, and I met three new listeners that I didn't know we didn't know existed out in Arizona. So it's not just Jack and Stone anymore. We picked up a couple listeners, and actually had one email me on last week's rant. It was pretty cool.
So you're in New Orleans, but met him in Arizona?
They're from Arizona.
Oh, they're from
They're
Arizona.
from
You met them in
Arizona
New Orleans.
and met
I
them in New
got,
Orleans. And one of them
I
is a
got you.
friend, and I told her about the podcast, but she thought it was apparently good enough to send it to one of her other friends, and who said, "When is the next podcast coming out?" Big shout to Abby, by the way. Hey, Abby. Um, and she started rattling off. Stuff I don't remember anymore. I'm sure I said something. What the heck did I say back in podcast number 3?
Well, last week we covered off Alabama fan base, and then if you go by the states alphabetically, Alabama's first,
Oh, Arizona. There you go.
Arizona's third, I think. So we missed Alaska, but that's kind of hard to find fans up there. But so yeah, Arizona. So what's after Arizona? California. So then we need some California folks to join in
I'll
to the
start talking to
party.
them next. By the way, big plug outs. Old Panda here has put together the best website ever. It still says under construction, but we are now go out to redwheelspanda.com. Check us out. Now we are we've got a couple blogs going on. It's pretty freaking awesome. And yes, it is the fastest growing website on the planet as well.
There you go. Of course.
He'll be
Yes.
giving you a little more on the website. So Panda, what say you? You're all in Hilton Head now.
I
You're
know it's
gone.
official,
You're no longer a
man.
mile away.
We closed on our old house in Atlanta yesterday, so there's no looking back. Yeah, went to the beach today, which didn't suck. And yeah, we're just getting used to this different lifestyle here and enjoying every bit of it so far. But yeah, it's weird. Couple kids back in Atlanta still. We got mother-in-law, brother-in-law, and a bunch of family, back friends, whatnot back there. So yeah, it's a little different, but yeah, it's good. It's obviously this is a little slice of paradise. We've always thought that, and you know it as
We'll see you in
well
a
as I
couple
do.
weeks. We'll be down
Yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah. But just kind of teeing up the website. So it's not it in my mind. It's still under construction, which is why it still says that. But yeah, there's a lot of content out there already that we're putting out there. We're just going to wait till probably September to like fully launch it and make a big splash on it. But yeah, you can go out there and there's some cool content. We're going to talk a little bit about one of the articles here in a bit. But yeah, it's kind of a labor of love, and it's gonna be all related to the 80s stuff that if you're listening to this podcast, stuff that you would be interested in, I think. And it's just going to get bigger over time. So we're super excited to get that going. And a lot of, probably a lot of it music and movie focused at first, but we'll get into other things, sports
I
and
want the merch. When does the
and
merch
merch.
come?
Yeah. So that'll probably be a phase
When do we
two.
get the Rika can of the Red
Oh
Wheels?
yeah, we're gonna get the Rika sponsorship. So yeah,
Oh, there you
we'll
go. We
wait
need
for
the
the
Rika sponsorship.
we need the big money flowing in so we can get some merchandise and stuff. Yeah, that's probably a phase two thing. We have that capability. Of course, we got to get the merchandise kind of just determined first. But yeah, we'll be able to get that up there later this year for sure. But yeah, super excited. So if you want to go check it out, get a sneak peek. As Wheel said, it's redwheelspanda.com. Pretty straightforward. Can't really miss it. So go check it out.
So now that you're in the big Carolina, you got something
Oh,
facing you up here in the next
yeah.
wait, what's coming up?
So that's the thing. Like we are, I've, it's kind of funny. So I go back and visit my mom, and like she looks at the weather app. I think like every hour on the hour. It's like, oh, it's now only 52% chance of rain. It was 54, or it's dropped a degree by the end of the day. That stuff, and I'm just like, okay. But now that we're here, it's like now I kind of start to get it because we're hitting on hurricane season, and we got our Hurricane Aaron is already kind of brewing down there, and we're somewhat protected here. It's not like we're in the Gulf, New Orleans or the west coast of Florida where we're kind of in the sweet spot of it, but they have had some hurricanes come through here. So now it's like, yeah, I gotta start to pay attention to that stuff where I can kind of used to blow it off. And I had a dream the other night, like we had to evacuate, and we were all trying to drive off the island. There's only one bridge, and we're all kind of stuck on the island. So I don't know that it'll ever get that bad, but yeah, that's a new thing to deal with, living on the
Well, at least
island.
once you get off, going up whatever
Yeah,
towards Atlanta, good golly, they shut down both, the evacuation plan. Once you get off the
yeah,
island, it's pretty awesome.
yeah, yeah. It is.
Unlike what you saw in the Katrina, you saw those, and I don't know if you ever watched the documentary to that, but they didn't.
We're 3 episodes in, or 2 episodes
Wow.
in. Wow, it's God, it's depressing to watch that
Yeah.
documentary. Just totally depressing what those folks had to go through, how unprepared. And I didn't really think about it, but FEMA is not really a first response organization. They're really kind of second wave. And so there was the first wave in New Orleans for Katrina got wiped out. There was no first wave. And so everything fell on FEMA, and they dropped the ball. They weren't really ready. And yeah, so and then I had to go to Ohio recently, and I had to drive up through the mountains between Asheville and Knoxville. And oh my God, I-40, there's still, you could see where a highway literally crumbled into the water, and it's still only one lane or two lanes, one lane
Oh,
each way.
I-40 going through the mountains.
Yeah, yeah, it's
Wow.
it's one lane on each side for
I didn't
much of
realize
that.
that thing was still down.
Yeah, still a year later. So anyway, yeah. So that's my new life, focusing the next 4 months on what the weather looks like down in the Caribbean.
Well, I got a little general talk to. I was just in New Orleans, speaking of the Katrina and I the first time or the last time we were as a family, one of the best events we ever had was when we had both our families and we got to meet up in New Orleans. You had all three boys, I had both my kids, and we were there for the 2014. I still love you, Barb. The 2014 Sugar Bowl game against Alabama, and we had the best of times. And I stayed in that hotel, the across the street from the Marriott. I
Marriott,
stayed at
yeah.
the Sheraton right across the street,
Okay,
and
nice.
so we were there with the kids. And New Orleans, come on, the bar is just golly. So we're with the family of pandas and my family, and the kids are a little young, and I go, let's go to the Marriott bar and just stay away from the riffraff, and hopefully we'll just sit around some folks that are going to the game. And sure as crap, we got into that hotel, and we were with all that's where the Ohio State Buckeyes were staying. So we ran
Yep.
against across so many old timers. Got to see
Shelly Meyer, yeah, she was
Shelly
the
Meyer
queen of the
putting down
ball.
putting down some white wine,
Yeah,
rather getting ready for the game. Let's just say
yeah,
that it was
yeah.
actually a really cool day. But I got to tell you, my little story of my first New Orleans trip. I it was before I met my wife, and I was working my tail end off in a software company. And a friend of mine and four guys that he goes, hey, let's go to Mardi Gras. And I was kind of going, he goes, come on, it'll be fun. And I go, all right, I'll go to Mardi Gras, when in Rome, I got to go try one time. But I was at the age going, I'm a little, they were about 4 or 5 years younger than I, and there were 3 or 4 Georgia Tech guys that were all going on this trip. I said, sure, road trip. I'm going with these guys. I don't know much of any of them, but my good friend. And they go, all right, before we go, it's packed. So Bourbon Street's packed, Canal Street's packed, just packed, packed, packed. So there's nowhere to go pee. And go, okay, well, all right, I'll find a spot. And they go, no, you'll get arrested. All right. So before we go on this trip, I knew the first red flag was we're going into Home Depot to look for a tube that you run down your pant leg so that you can cut a hole in your pocket and maneuver a way to be able to take a leak, kind of like on, some street sewer drain or whatever. And I'm looking at them going, and these are all engineers, and they've engineered this little thing, and a little tube that's flat. It goes down your leg. And I went, well, all right. Went in room. I'll try it up. So I pack my stuff and I go, okay, what car are we going in? They roll in at like 5 in the morning to come pick me up, and it's a pickup truck. And I look, I go, well, all five of us can't fit in that front of that cab in that pickup truck is. I know three of you guys are gonna be right in the back of the pickup. It had a little cover on it, right? Going. So we take off at 5 o'clock in the morning or something like I don't know what time it was. We take off and I'm in the back of a pickup truck in a cab, and I'm like a director in a company going, "Steve, you hit low. Oh, you hit the
Yeah.
bottom here. What are you doing, you nut job?" We end up in Biloxi, and we wanted to get they wanted to get some food, and I go, you know what? I'm going to the casino. I'm getting a cocktail, and I'm gonna pretend that I'm on the back of a pickup truck. I get into Biloxi on the blackjack tables for about an hour and a half, and win about $450
Ooh.
on the blackjack table. And I'm going, all right. So I'm headed into New Orleans. Well, they were right. You know, in Mardi Gras, it is packed, packed, packed. You can't get into restaurants. There's no porta potties. There's police everywhere, and they were absolutely right. So those stupid little tubes, those stupid little tubes, we're standing right next to police officers on top of a drain
And were you
without
just
a. Yeah, right. That's
you were
right.
draining it to the
Draining
drain?
around because you're drinking beer and whatever, but I'm still going. What am I doing, you moron? So yeah, we do that on Friday night. And by the way, we're not in a hotel. We're in some guy's apartment, sleeping on floors. With my bag. So we go Friday night and we go through Saturday all day, same kind of stuff. And finally about midnight, I go, all right, I've had enough. I call up Delta at midnight. I said, all right, when's your next flight out? They said 4:30 a.m. Perfect. How much? $49.
Ooh, score.
Score. American Express, let's go. I get into a cab, get my crap. I said, see you guys, have a fun ride back in that back of that pickup truck. And I head off to the airport with my tube thrown away by that time.
I would hope so.
Oh God, I get to the airport. I'm in line to get my ticket. This was a paper ticket back in the day. This was and go get my ticket. As I'm walking in the line, I get upgraded to first class. I'm in 1B in first class
Oh,
on a $49 ticket.
wow.
Get on the airplane, and of course, after I hadn't gone to bed, so we land probably around I don't know 7 a.m. And when I wake up, I am in 1B, and I look back in the back of the plane. The entire plane has now been deboarded. And there's the big wheels waiting to get off the
Nice.
plane.
Nice. Last one off.
Last one off. So
First seat, last one off. So wait a minute. Let's go back to this truck. So where did you enter the back of the pickup truck? You said Biloxi somewhere. In Atlanta?
Oh, in Atlanta. We
You
started in
took that
Atlanta in the
from
back of a
Atlanta?
pickup truck. Yeah, in the back, with the cover on the back. And I'm back there
What
with
the
I'm back
hell?
there with four guys and the driver's up in the front. There's nobody sitting in the cab. There's four of us in the back of this. And I don't know why the other guys, and I don't know why I didn't say, hey, it's nobody's second hand passenger spots. I should be sitting up front with all our luggage. And half these guys are packing in trash can bags, black.
Holy.
So, when I got into that thing, I'm going, what am I doing? What am I doing?
There had to be a better way, Steve. There had
There
to
had to be I knew a better way back home.
be. Yeah, you did well there, for sure. I think you probably snored up that joint too.
Oh, I'm sure everybody in that first class is going,
Oh
that
my
son of a gun,
God.
was that Mardi Gras? Good God, what the heck do we have on this plane? I'm
Oh my
surprised Delta
God.
didn't say, that $1,000,000 status, you're gone, baby.
You're out, man. Oh my God. People raced off that plane. They probably spit on you on the way out.
Sorry, listeners, but that's a good. It was a good story
Yeah, it was.
with a happy ending. All right, you were talking about something. You had something on your the
Oh
Vanderbilt.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So, um, yeah, we just closed on our house yesterday, and I was having Jill and I are having lunch with our two boys about a week ago at Chewy's, one of our favorite spots down there in Atlanta, and it just occurred to me for the first time that we were about to be debt free for the first time in my adult life. What happens is, at least for most people, or at least for me, I went to Vanderbilt and I came out with like $25,000 of debt. I was in debt from age 18 or whatever, when you the first loans that have to take, and you graduate, you got all that debt, and then you get a car, you got a car payment, which is debt, and then eventually you get married and you get a mortgage, you get a home, and you got debt, and you spend 40 years of your life in debt. Now, that's not a bad thing if you do it right, and we're all doing it the right way. I did it the right way, you're doing it the right way, but still, there's just something about being in debt that kind of just always I didn't love. I took advantage of it, but I didn't love it. And so now that I'm literally just paying, we got nothing. My first time in my adult life, I have no debt, and it just hit me hard. So I said it at Chewy's, and Jill was like, "Oh," it looked at me like, "Wow, okay," and the boys like, "Oh, wow, that's cool," but it just that's just part of life, I guess, part of being an adult, and it's kind of liberating when you no longer
It,
have that.
Retirement planning 101. When you want to wind it down, you have just, everybody listening, this is a thing you want to know about. When you want to wind it down, that's the very first thing, in my opinion, is going into any sort of time where you want to stop working. You definitely want to be debt free in that period of time.
Yeah,
That's not going to say that you might not have a little tiny car note at some point,
yeah,
but I
yeah,
really believe in. I've talked to so many people that will have mortgages going into retirement, and I would always strongly, unless there's a mortgage that you're getting some sort of rental income from it, without that, I would not. That's the hardest part about my retirement plan is figuring out how
yeah,
we are not going to have any sort of debt
yeah,
going forward from a house.
yeah.
That's
That's so I everybody's situation is different. So the point of bringing it up isn't to say, hey, if you're retiring and you got some
right.
amount of debt, that's a bad thing. I'm not saying that at all. Everybody's, situation is different. You can have a small little mortgage you're still paying off and it's easily in your budget and that's no big thing. Or you got to get a car and you got to have a little car payment. That's not a big thing at all. I wasn't really commenting on that as much as saying, but once the debt is gone, if you're fortunate enough to be able to do it, it is freaking liberating. It's just I I don't know that it was always something that I was conscious of or whatever, but it was like this like a sense of okay, that's over, that's done, and it feels good. So thought I'd just mention that. That's something that hit me here the
That's a
last.
very, very excellent point. All right, we're going to go into our first segment. We've talked about this is mixtapes and mopeds, and one of the things that growing into this age is back in the late 70s and early 80s, and the reason why we call this podcast is when we were growing up, especially in Lancaster, Ohio, but I think this was pretty much all over the country. Mopeds were a really big thing for those before the age of 16. And it was that liberation. There you go, the freedom of debt. But back in the day, it was the freedom of being able to get
Yeah,
anywhere
yeah,
on a motorized bike. And for my case, I was working about 14 years old, flying across town in my moped. But and it was just the most liberating thing. Now, fast forward about 45 years or more. And now we are sitting at kind of retirement and going, we've rode bikes and exercise, but now we're back into the modern version of the moped, and that's the electric bike.
yeah,
So we bought our electric bikes about a year and a half ago, and I had experimented. Actually, in New Orleans was the place I rode my first electric bike. But it is something I started riding around. I go, man, this is awesome. I still want to pedal a little bit, but when it comes to a big hill, I'm done, and I don't want to be done. I still want to be riding my bike. So
Yeah.
you just bought one, Panda. What do you
Yeah.
think about riding the bike around Hilton Head?
It's a game changer, and you did a great job because I'm pretty thorough when it comes to significant purchases, and these are like $1,000, so it's not insignificant. So I wanted to do my research, and I knew what bike you had. You told me the model and everything, and I went out and looked, and no, there wasn't a better deal than the one you guys got. So I got the exact same bike you did, and the island is not it's flat, but there's hills and whatnot, and but there's also big gaps now where we live. We don't live in a small community. We'd have to bike miles and miles and miles to get to certain places. And for me, I won't ride a regular bike, 3 or 4 miles and then have to come back
Especially in the humidity and the
in the
hot.
humidity and the heat, right?
Right.
So now you got this bike where it's got six different kind of levels where it supports you, like 1 through 6. And if you're on one, it's basically like riding a bike, and it just gives you just a little bit of help. I ride it around on two because it gives you just a little bit of a goose when you need it, but you're still pedaling, and I'm still getting exercise. I'm sweating. I'm putting in exercise. But if I ever get like dog tired or dead tired, I can put it up on 5 or 6, which I've never done, and just ride it as a moped all the way back to where I need to go. So it kind of removes the pressure of getting stuck somewhere and not getting back. And the battery life is crazy. So
60 miles. We've stretched it. I've hit the 45, I know for sure.
I'm at 3/4 of a strength yet, and I've been riding it all over the place. I don't, it's like 20, 30 miles at this point, and I'm still on 3/4. So the batteries just go and go and go. So it's just the technology is, as we get older, it allows you to stay healthy and exercise, but it gives you what you need, to kind of get through the rough spots, when they pop up where you just get tired or
I
hot,
love
whatever.
that bike too. I can't say enough good about that. I hope they keep making that model. Yeah, I
Yeah,
see the fat tire bikes, and the problem is fat tire bikes trying to put it on a the back of the car. They're tough.
yeah. Those are
Um,
supposedly, I guess, for the beach, but if you ride an electric bike on the beach, it's not going to last very long. It's going to get all corroded, and
right.
so I don't want to ride it anywhere near the beach anyway. So yeah, not a big deal. I like the regular tires that you guys have on yours.
Yep. All right. Now we're gonna go to the website. Next up, segment two. We have a great segment here. Old Panda here put together 100 and he couldn't put together 50, 100. It's 150 tunes, the best tunes of the 1980s. And for anybody that's ever tried to put together a list, just even try to put together a list of 5 things, let alone 150 items, it is a lot of work. So check out the
Yeah.
website. Go to redwheelspanda.com. The list is out there. He's soon going to be posting a Spotify link to you could download a list and have the best tunes of the 80s. Panda did a great job. One heck of a job. It's a great list. But I'm gonna give a little ones that are going,
That's all right. Yeah, bring it
well,
on, dude. Bring it on.
I didn't find any Billy Joel.
Yeah, I'm not a massive. Billy Joel was on. So then, hold on. Let me pause you for a second. My list when I started the process, because you said it's hard, it is freaking hard. My list was 444 songs that I loved. Billy Joel was on there, but when you have to drop it down to like 150, I started out just doing 100. And I'm like, I can't stop at 100. I got to at least go to 150. So it's freaking hard. So yes, poor Billy did not make the list. So apologize. I went to see him in
He was
concert. He
number
was
one there.
amazing.
Like the number one, and I'm gonna give number two is Phil Collins. Now Genesis made it,
Genesis
but
made it. Phil
Phil
Collins
Collins,
is
if
on
you
my.
cannot leave that drums,
I got
that
you.
one was
Yeah,
went
that's uh that's a
one of the
fair criticism.
one of the
Fair
top
criticism.
25 songs of all time in my mind. But I don't care anymore. It's got to be. So I'm gonna give that
I
that
love that
one.
song. Yes.
Now I'll give you the ones where I go. I can understand why it wouldn't be on there. Jimmy Buffett didn't have a good song in the 80s, but love Jimmy Buffett, but didn't there's maybe one
Yeah.
in there you count on. I'm sure George Michael is always on your list, but there was no George Michael, no Wham, nothing out there for George.
They were on the 444 list, but not on the 150 list. Yes, I was a big Wham fan actually. Wake Me Up Before You Go Go. I love that song. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's just
Yeah,
awesome. Then I'll
yeah,
throw out two that you would never have, but just absolutely love from the 80s, Whitney Houston and Lionel Richie. Those two.
yeah. I
But
admire.
I would not have them on my list.
No,
Maybe
I
Lionel,
admire
but
them
yep,
as performers. Very ultra. Whitney
love them.
Houston might have the best voice ever, but
Yes.
just not on a list that I would ever produce. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your list. Get us.
So yeah, we it's the top 150, and it crosses rock and metal and new wave and pop. So I've got all kind of the breakdown all on in the article. You can go check it out. But Steve asked me to pick a song, so I picked number 150 on the list. And I liked it because it kind of sums up the challenge that I had. So number 150 on the list is a song called Be Good Johnny by Men at Work from 1981.
One of the best
And
songs ever. When I saw that at 150, I go, that's the perfect 150.
it's a
By the way.
great song.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. The two songs that were better, more popular, Who Can It Be Now and Down Under, are the songs that were on MTV all the time, on the radio all the time. And they're not on the list. But that's because this is my list and not the list of rock critics. But
I
so
would put that one on the list. That one absolutely was the better one. About yeah, you did.
I
Yes, perfect one. Yep.
Yeah, I agree. So there's a lot of those where you go like, okay, Stone in Love is my favorite song from the Journey Escape album, but Don't Stop Believing is the song that everybody knows and loves. So I have Stone in Love ahead of that. That's just my preference, but I love both songs, love the whole album, but just so yeah, just take a look at the list. You'll find songs that you maybe have forgotten about or songs you didn't know. Some of them people didn't even know, but for the most part, you're going to see a lot of songs that you recognize. And it took me days and days and days to put it together. It was kind of a labor of love to do it. So check it out. And I'll soon post a Spotify
I think everybody
playlist.
be looking for that so they can just
Yeah.
download that list and have an easy
Yeah.
place to go play it.
Yeah. There you
Absolutely.
go.
By the way, the Red Wheels here really thanks you for putting my favorite song out there, The Violent Femmes. I don't know it would have made the list if you didn't know I love Blister in the Sun.
I love
I
that album as
that
much as almost as much as you do.
God bless.
Almost.
I
Yeah.
love that. The first four songs are just
Oh,
the best.
please, please, please do not
Please.
go. Love that song.
Man, I go
Oh,
listen to those guys for four so
yeah.
well five. They've gotten the they've got another one from another album that are just awesome. The Wisconsin band, Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
All right, everybody's favorite. We need a little the trumpets. Oh no, it's not. We're not on the no. We're in 1980. Oh yeah, we
Oh,
are on
that's it. Yeah, we
the
are.
Dirty Niner list. So, 1980 is the year. In 1980, there were a boatload of some of the best movies you ever want to go see. We had a list that we were going to go pick out from, and I'm going to go read through some of these movies, and everybody's going to go, golly, how do you pick out from this list? So we go through Empire Strikes Back, Superman 2, 9 to 5, The Blues Brothers, Friday the 13th, Airplane, Caddyshack, Popeye, The Gods Must Be Crazy, one of the best cult movies of all time.
Yeah.
Robert De Niro and Raging Bull, what the best of all time. And here's Johnny. The Shining. What a! I just saw a clip of that the other day. I got to go watch it again. I probably will watch that one 5 times. Love that. Ordinary People. Great movie. Well, actually won the Oscar that year. Coal Miner's Daughter. I got to admit, I think that's the only one I did not see the whole movie, but mostly. Flash. Ah. He's
Crazy
invincible.
soundtrack. Awful movie.
Yeah, exactly. One of the best soundtracks ever.
Yeah.
Terrible movie.
Oh my God, it's awful.
The long. Oh, there's another one. I don't know if I saw the Long Riders. Fame, absolutely. Fame was a
Yeah.
great movie too.
Yeah.
And then certainly Olivia Newton-John and holy God Almighty, Xanadu, the follow-up after Grease, man, that was
I was in love with her
oh,
right
in love with
right
her.
around that time.
So we are going to start it off with the Dirty Niner, and I'm going to kick off number one. And it was the last movie I just mentioned. I shouldn't have made the list. I could pick all the ones, but I was in love with Olivia Newton-John. And I had a date for this movie, and it was a pretty good day of watching Xanadu and Olivia Newton-John. And just always I see that movie and think about them rolling around their roller skates and her singing in that movie. It's just, I love that movie.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry for all those Sweeney's. Yes, I picked Xanadu, number nine,
I
Dirty
don't
Niner
think
list.
that song was ever on the jukebox at Sweeney's. I don't believe so. Although the ELO, yeah,
Oh
they
yeah,
were
Yellow was in there. Yeah, a lot of that.
they did all the music there for her, and with the backing band that she sang that song. But that's not number one on the list. That's number nine on the list,
Nine,
right?
number
Yeah,
nine. You're going to
number nine.
number eight. We're going
Yeah.
backwards. Number eight.
So number eight is Coal Miner's Daughter for me. So you said you didn't see it all. I remember vividly going to see I think it was Coal Miner's Daughter, Jeremiah Johnson, twin bill at the Plaza Drive-in.
Of course, you walked in the back and jumped in somebody's car.
Well, I was with mom and dad, so I don't
Oh,
believe, yeah, I don't believe that I did that, but
oh,
I
1980 in the plaza. I was sneaking in the back there on my moped.
yeah, it might have been Skyview now that I think about it, because we tended to do the Skyview. Anyway, I remember not absolutely not loving that movie. I like the music a lot because Loretta Lynn, because the music was so good. But I remember Tommy, what's Tommy? Oh my God, from Men in Black.
Yeah,
Jeez,
I know who you're talking. Yeah, everybody knows who you're talking
Al
about. Tommy.
Gore's
Yeah,
roommate at
yeah,
Harvard.
yeah, yeah.
Tommy, whatever his face is, he was the brutal husband, and so I hated him for like ever, for like 20 years, just because of that one role he had. Man, how can we are old? We can't
Hell of an
think of.
actor. I know. Yeah, we know who you're talking about.
Yeah,
That's going to be on the Stump Steve later, and Steve will
yeah,
agree.
but I think she won Academy Award for her performance, and it really was good, and it made me had a better understanding for what Loretta Lynn went through. So anyway, that's number eight on the list. Coal Miner's Daughter.
I'll go through, I'm going to be everything from here on out is going to be comedy for me. I just love to laugh. And it really is very hard to pick out in this list for me. But I'm going to actually, I have to go with, oh gosh. At number seven, we are going to go with the Blues Brothers. It had the most car accidents up until that point than any other movie. And Jake and Elwood just what a fantastic movie. I've watched that movie. Whenever it comes on TV, you just got to go, all right, got to sit down. I'm going to watch at least a half an hour of this movie of catching in the music in that movie. Everything about that, the soundtrack, I love that movie.
I don't remember the quote exactly, but something like we got a full tank of gas and half
Yes,
a pack of cigarettes. It's dark and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
hit it. That's exactly, you got the line.
That was if anything, that's probably too low on the list. I agree with you. That would have definitely I would have chosen that. That's just an all-time classic. So got you there. So I'm going to go stay on the comedy theme at number six. I'm going to go 9 to 5 as a little bit of a surprise. That and that was a kind of a chick, female power movie. I was a
It was
kid.
good for that. Dolly
I was a
Parton.
kid,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't know
yeah.
that I was necessarily the target audience, but man, it was so fun to
I love
watch
that movie too. And that the guy with the mustache who was the pig. That was
Dabney Coleman. He plays
yeah.
such a bad guy. He plays a great bad guy, just a
Yeah.
scumbag, and they just took just the crap out of that guy. And yeah, that was a great soundtrack, the great Dolly Parton, great song. So yeah, I gotta put that there at
All
number
the
six.
actresses in that were fantastic. That was a
Yeah.
guy get a very good pick. I'm glad you hit on that one. All right, I am leaving comedy because I am such a goofball, and I would wear a cape if I could, and have a little mask on, and have my light sword on. But The Empire Strikes Back, it may not have been the number, first one. The first one was definitely the best, but this one was really good. Watching Luke Skywalker and everything about that movie, they stepped up a notch of the original on the special effects.
Mhm.
It was even that even because
Mhm.
nobody else, that
Mhm.
was George Lucas. I mean, that was a
Mhm.
start of everything with all the effects that went on, and
Yeah.
that was just I remember seeing that, and I always can watch that movie all the time, but I got to go with The Empire Strikes Back at number. What are we at? Number
Five.
five. Number
I
five.
I would say again that's probably low. I think a lot of diehards would say that is the best of the nine movies. That is the best overall, and hard to argue. The only thing that I always dinged it a little bit is it was a little bit of a cliffhanger. It didn't really close out the movie to me. It was just a setup to the next
The next
movie.
one, right? Well, they were gonna
Yeah.
have nine. Now it's like 50.
Yeah, so I loved the movie when it came out, but I always remember being disappointed that it didn't quite close things out. But anyway, it was an amazing movie, and as you said, the effects only got better then. So great choice there. Number four, I've got to go Caddyshack.
Ah,
Again, sticking with comedy. It is just so I was, I'm on TikTok, whatever, and I follow and you start and you watch something and you get a lot of it. And so I got a lot of Caddyshack stuff recently, and I didn't realize how much like Bill Murray's character was only going to be a minor bit, really a non-talking character for the most part, and he just came
I
out
have
and he
that going for me. I
yeah,
talked to the dummy and the Dalai Lama, and I got that going for me.
the scene where he's acting out a
Oh,
golf
there she
shot.
goes. There she goes. She's teeing it up. Oh yes, look at that. Look at that.
And he takes the sickle or whatever, and he swipes at all the plants, whatever. That was completely improvised. Like it wasn't even in the script. So and then Chevy Chase totally blew out his. And those performances were great. So good.
Ah,
And as a young kid watching it for the first time, there was boobies, so that was always a good thing too. So
no cutting on that one. That was clean
that's
enough.
on the edge.
We're sorry, Jill. He did not look. He closed his eyes the
I
entire
did. I
time.
did. I was not allowed to
And
look.
kids too. And
So
of course, Dad
Caddyshack.
never watched any of that.
No, that's number four. What do we got for number three?
Ah, that's a good one. I gotta move one of mine up. I'm gonna move. This one would have been farther down on my list, way farther, but I gotta substitute it in, but because I just love this movie, and I cannot say. I mean, I'm going with number three is The Shining. I freaking love that movie, and here's Johnny.
Yeah,
That's just one of the top. We don't get to see. We don't get to see. Oh God, what's his name? The leading actor in The Shining,
Jack Nicholson.
Jack Nicholson. I feel like it's unfortunate. I don't get to see him as much anymore. He was one of the best actors ever,
Yeah.
and that was one of his masterpieces.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Yeah, he is.
Wandering around in that maze in the back of the whatever the property was. That just what a great movie.
He improvised some of the lines too. Yeah, there's so much like mystery. There's a lot of hidden clues in that movie that people I don't spend the time, but many people will spend a lot of time trying
Red
to
rum,
understand.
red rum, red
Yeah,
rum.
Red Rum. Yeah, that one's not so hidden, but it's certainly a classic for sure. I'm not also not big into big horror movies, but that one's really not horror, true horror.
Back
Uh,
then it was, but now
yeah,
it's nothing.
it's kind of tame by current
Yeah, yeah,
standards.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so great
I have a
choice.
feeling we're gonna tie here at number two. What's your number? What's your number two?
It's not even close for me. Airplane.
That's number one, number two. Might as well
Yeah,
be. It's not
yeah,
even close. We're not even gonna get him another one.
yeah,
That's number one, number two. Man, that
yeah. There's just so many lines that have come from that movie, and they're so good and so well known that you even know them. So I can't even stump you when I do a an airplane quote because you know them all.
oh my
So
God, just the up over under. Roger, Roger. Oh my.
I speak jive. Uh, Stop calling me Shirley.
Really?
Yeah.
Here's the lady. Shh.
No, that's just it. It just it's a class by itself in terms of that genre. No
I yeah,
question.
you hit me the top 10 movies. That's in my top 10 every single time. Absolutely. Just because you can there's not like a 5 minute gap. It is constant zap. Leslie Nielsen at his best.
Yeah.
Um, all right. Well, we didn't get the Dirty Niner. We had tied one and two because I'm not going to go pick. There's
Okay.
another one I'd go out there and pick, but I think
Oh, I thought we were gonna have
abs-
to put Raging Bull in there because that one, De Niro's performance. So let's
see,
just do Raging Bull at number two and Airplane at number one. How about that?
that'll work. I was actually going to throw in. I like that one, but the other one for me that no, that was it. That was
Yeah.
Raging Bull. Yep.
Yeah. That was such a good performance.
All right, we are on to the next segment, and this is now relevant to right now. We are in prime time for all those
There we go.
listening. We're
I'm
gonna
so
go pick.
excited.
We're gonna go pick our top 12. Who's gonna make the playoffs? You know, we're mine. I'm just gonna be kind of not super selective, but I'm gonna give my opinion on what I think, and it's not gonna be any big surprises, but it's close to what people are picking anyway. I think it's the top eight are probably top seven or eight are probably a
Yeah.
lock
Yeah.
for at least making the playoff. After that, I think it's a crap show. I think we're
Yeah.
just gonna see a little bit of somebody else is gonna sneak in, somebody's gonna drop out after eight. But I firmly believe in those. At least the top seven or eight are going to come in. Do you want to go first? You want me to go?
Go ahead.
So what I have in my top, so I looked at first off the kind of like the five automatic qualifiers. So you start looking at the SEC championship game. I think it's going to be in the SEC championship. I think it's going to be a little bit different than what everybody's predicting. I think Texas is going to be there. Everybody says that, but I think Alabama's going to be playing Texas. I can't tell you who's going to win that, but certainly those whoever's in that game, both of them are going to go make the playoffs. So those two are definitely in the playoffs. I think the Big Ten title game, in my opinion, my bet is it's going to be Penn State against Ohio State. I think those two are probably the premier in the league. So I think, and so both those two will be in the playoff. Big 12 title game. I think the Big 12 is going to be a crap show. So they're going to beat up on everybody. So at best, there's going to be a two-loss team, a three-loss team playing in their title game. Arizona State against Texas Tech. I think Texas Tech is going to come out this year. They're going to be the best paid team in probably college
Oh,
football.
jeez. They are trying to buy a program, aren't they?
Right. So,
God.
is it going to be the Yankees and the Dodgers that can get them to the college football
Right.
finale? I kind of think they'll end up in the mix, but Arizona State's got a great quarterback and a couple good players coming back. Did they have what was the guy's name? Boo, what was Scattaboo? Was that
He's
Arizona
gone.
State?
Yeah, he's
Yeah, he's
gone.
gone.
Yeah.
But they apparently have the next news Scattaboo coming in, and a couple good receivers. So that team's going to be fun to watch. ACC, I think there's I think certainly Clemson is going to be the premier team. We're going to see them in the top five a lot of the year. There's a little big, Clemson's got a crappy, I mean, they have a tough, tough, tough schedule playing LSU and South Carolina in their
Hmm.
schedule, let alone the ACC run. They've got a tough schedule. Miami, certainly they picked up the quarterback from Georgia, but I mean, we're going to be looking at that. There's also SMU, Georgia Tech, and Louisville that are right there. So I think there's going to be three, but I only am going to take one out of the ACC. I don't think there's going to be enough. Out of the group of five, you can look at either Tulane, Toledo, Boise State, James Madison. coming out of that group of five. So it's going to be one team out of that group. So my prediction is five SEC teams. Five SEC
Wow.
teams. I think it's going to be Alabama, Texas, Georgia, LSU, and the blind one's going to be South Carolina. They're going to be a good enough record this year.
Homer.
Yep,
Homer.
it is. It's a homer pick, but it's either plugging in South Carolina or Auburn, and I think it's going to be South Carolina. Sorry,
It
Stone. Our
ain't gonna
one
be
listener.
Auburn. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think they're gonna struggle a little bit. They may be a four-loss team, probably a five-loss team, but I think those are the five. I think we're only going to get three from the Big Ten. I'm only going to take Penn State, Ohio State, and Oregon from the Big Ten. I think we're going to be down one. I think two from the ACC. I think it's going to be Clemson and Miami coming out of there with a surprise, something switching out Miami. Clemson, I think, is a lock. But there could be a different one from the ACC that it's not on my list. Big 12, Texas Tech's coming out. Then I'm taking from the group of five. I'm taking Tulane. I think Tulane's got the team this year from the group of five coming out. They're going to come out with one loss. If you look at their schedule, that's where they're going to be. So those are my 12 coming out to the playoff. Put them in ink. I wouldn't
Yeah.
bet on them though.
Yeah. Well, I think we're not too dissimilar. I just took the top 12 teams, which did not have a group of five in it. So whoever's number 12, which in this case would be a Big Ten team, would fall off the list. But um, yeah, I have the only difference I have with your list is the bottom two. I have Arizona State instead of Texas Tech. And I had Illinois as a top 12, but they wouldn't make it because of the group of five. So the other 10 are exactly the same. It's just a
You
matter
had
of,
South Carolina?
oh no, I'm sorry. Then oh, you didn't put Notre Dame on the list?
Oh, no, I missed out on Notre Dame.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Oh, there's going to be the switch for South Carolina, Notre Dame.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
right. I left them out. That's a
yeah,
good pick. It's going to be
yeah,
four from the SEC, and Notre Dame's going to be the one that takes one of those spots
yeah.
without question. Or
So
or one of the ACC teams are not going to make it. I don't think it's going to be a bloodbath. I just think there's not going to be enough good quality wins in that conference.
so if you replaced South Carolina with Notre Dame, now we got the first 10 the same. It's just my just general thoughts is I'm not a Miami fan. I'm not a Carson Beck fan, so I've got them at 10. I don't think they're necessarily for real, but there's enough talent there that I think you got to respect that. And they're playing in a weaker conference in the ACC. So other than Clemson, not too difficult a schedule. So I've got LSU in there. Did you have you had LSU in there, right?
I did not. Yes, I did.
Oh, yeah, you did. Yeah,
I did
yeah,
have
yeah.
LSU.
So
Yep.
then I have LSU at 9, but I have Alabama down at 8, and the main reason being I think Alabama has the best talent in college football, but I'm not really sure who their quarterback is going to be. And if it's that Ty Simpson guy, I'm like, did he all of a sudden get good? Because he sucked considerably in the past. So, and you've seen, at least I am now of the opinion, you cannot win a national championship without either an elite quarterback or a quarterback that is just good at getting you in the right play. The quarterback from Georgia to when they went back to back is an example of a guy who wasn't an elite quarterback, but he made plays and he made plays when they mattered.
Will
And I don't
Howard.
and then Will Howard for Ohio State last year doing the same thing. So I don't think Alabama has that, and that's even with the most talented roster pushes them down my list. So I have Texas one just because everybody does, and it's hard to say no to that. And they got a lot of skill there and a quarterback that, in theory, should be great. So I do have them at one. I have Ohio State at two, which is something of a homer pick, but probably second or third best roster in college football. So not necessarily overranked. I have Georgia third. I'm worried about their quarterback as well, but I like him a little better than Alabama's quarterback. And then Clemson, I think, is the darkest dark horse to win it all. I think they could easily, with their quarterback and receivers and that defense, could easily run their schedule, even though it's challenging, and certainly get into the playoffs and could
I
make
think
it to the.
Clemson's kind of the Ohio State setup from last year. They could
I
lose two.
agree.
I think they could
Yeah,
lose 2 games and run the table.
they still could because they got the quarterback and they got
Yep.
the pieces that you need to have. So I have them at 4. I have Notre Dame at 5. I think what Marcus Freeman is doing there is spectacular. We always thought, hey, when Ryan Day leaves, Marcus Freeman would come to Ohio State. I don't think he'll ever leave Notre Dame because he's got everything he needs there. He's recruiting at a high level.
Other than a $3 million paycheck.
I don't. What do you mean 3 million? He
What's his
gets.
paycheck right now?
I don't really know, but it's more
It's
than
not,
that.
and it's not too much more than 3 or 4.
I mean, most of these guys are getting
10.
6 or 8 million
Yeah, yeah,
or
yeah.
10 million. Yeah,
Right.
I don't know what he's getting paid, so maybe money comes into play, but everything else, I mean, he's set up for success there for the next couple of years at the very least. Penn State, which everybody says is just almost automatically should be number 1 or number 2, but is James
James
Frank?
Franklin
Is he
figures
still
out
their
to
head
screw it
coach?
up.
Is he their head coach?
The dude has
Because
not though. He look 10 years or whatever that length of time is. They've had a good football team every year he's been there. I mean,
absolutely, well,
he has 2 games,
he's a
Michigan and
good
Ohio State,
coach. He's
and
a good coach.
this is the last year of Ohio State. They're not playing next year.
Oh wow.
31 years straight of playing
Oh
Ohio
wow.
State. They're not playing
Well,
Michigan this year.
well, he's a good coach, but when he faces a team with equal or better talent, I would hate to see what that record is because it's abysmal. And so I don't. And Drew Aller just crapped
Yeah,
the
his
bed crapped the bed against good teams last year. Now he didn't have a wide receiver to speak of, and they picked up some wide receivers, so there is hope. But I just don't see Penn State being better than any of those 5 teams ahead of them. And then Oregon is again buying the best roster they can and deserves to be in there at 7. So that's kind of my list. I have Illinois at 12 from the Big Ten, but again, the group of 5 team would push them out of the playoffs. So that puts me at 4 SEC, 3 Big Ten. And I don't know if Notre Dame considered ACC. That would make 3 ACC if they were considered that. And then you're Big 12. So there you go.
great picks. We are very, very similar. I'm still going to bet on. I'm going to take Miami out instead of South Carolina. I'm going to bet on 5 SEC teams.
There you go.
I'm going to bet on it.
No.
All right, we're going to skip by a list based off timing. What I see, we're going to jump over to Stump Wheels. Is
There
that
we
okay there, Panda?
go. All right.
We're going to go to. We can't remember Tommy, and we're going to get emails tomorrow. Well, tomorrow when we post this of whatever Tommy's last name was, and I know I'm going to look it up right after this, and he's looking it up right now on his phone with ChatGPT, going, "What is the guy from back in Men in Black's last name?" It's not Will Smith. It's Tommy Lee
Lee
Jones.
Jones. You actually got it right.
Yeah, right. Before I didn't look it up.
Yeah,
My
there you
chat
go.
GPT kicked in my head
All right.
as soon as I
Anyway,
said Will Smith.
yeah.
All right, Stump Wheels. This is
Stump
the section where
Wheels.
Wheels never gets it.
All right. So I'm going to give you more information here in the hopes that maybe one of these days you'll get it. So it's a romantic comedy from 1989, probably the best romantic comedy of the 80s, maybe of all time. So I'm giving you.
When Harry Met Sally.
Let me do the cut. Let me at least tell me if you knew this line. I'll have what she's having.
Oh my God, are you kidding me? That's the best line of all time. Meg Ryan saying that to Billy Crystal. That is that. Finally,
you got one. Well, to clarify, Meg Ryan didn't say the line. It was Billy Crystal's mom who was playing the woman next to Meg Ryan after Meg does. Having. Yeah, she says, "I'll have what she's having."
He still managed to stump old Wheels.
Partial stumpage, but you surprised me there. You nailed that. That's good. Very good.
Yeah, that movie I can watch that one over. You know, we'll get to 1989. We just got to 1980, so we've got 10 more episodes to work up to that, and that one's going to be right there at that top of that list. Well, Panda, we're going to miss you here in the Atlanta region, but we'll see you here in a couple 3 weeks down in Hilton Head. Eventually, our final resting place. Can't wait to get down there and hang out with the Panda family.
Hey, I wanted to call out that we're going to be reviewing the movie Big next time. So anybody who wants to join in with us and rewatch that great Tom Hanks movie, we're going to be each of us rewatching that before our next show, and then we're going to do another video review on the next podcast. So we both love that movie, and I really just can't wait to watch it.
Man, I can't wait to watch it again,
Yeah,
especially when they're dancing in that New York toy
yeah,
store. I can't
yeah.
wait to go see that again. By the way, go check out redwheelspanda.com. Mr. Panda has put a ton of work into this. It is shaping up to be a great website. Hopefully, we'll have that Spotify list to download soon. I got to
Yeah,
start figuring out posting. By the way, Panda was very, very just so nice to put together my profile. That's way beyond the thank you very much. It was too kind. Very, very, very kind. Thank you.
very true too.
Um, I don't know about that, but very kind. Thank you. I will try to say wherever we go, we try to have fun.
We do. We absolutely
I'll
do.
try to. You may go, what the hell are we doing? Go, oh, well, okay, that's fine. Thank you all to our listeners. Great to
Right.
see all of you, and we'll see you next time. And I know we
Yeah,
need to do more of these. I get so many times I meet people, they say, "Come on, record another one," and we'll
we'll
try
do
to do
better.
that.
We'll
Yep.
do better. Yeah. Have a good
See
one.
y'all.
See ya.